شايفين كيف الصحفيين في غزة على أسطح المنازل المرتفعة بخاطروا على حياتهم عشان يحصلوا على نت. أنا شايف كيف بعض الصحفيين هذا في نت بنخاطر على حياتنا عشان نطلع صورة برا غزة كما بنشاهد. في نت
ونص مش راضية.
Gaza has been facing a massive internet and communication blackout, leaving its 2.2 million residents in the dark. But what's happening now? And how will Elon Musk's Starlink help Gaza? And will it affect his relations with Israel? Let's dive into it. First of all, what's happening now? The blackout began on October 12th, when Israel launched a massive airstrike campaign against Gaza in response to the Hamas attack on October 7th. The airstrikes targeted several telecommunication installations, destroying 2 of the 3 main lines of communication going into Gaza. The blackout has made it nearly impossible for people in Gaza to communicate with their loved ones and access life-saving medical and other essential services. It's a humanitarian disaster, and people are calling for urgent action to be taken. But how will Elon Musk's Starlink help Gaza? For those who don't know, Starlink is a satellite internet constellation being constructed by SpaceX, Musk's aerospace company. The goal of Starlink is to provide low-cost, high-speed internet access to people all around the world, especially those in remote or underserved areas. The good news is that SpaceX has already started providing Starlink internet service to some areas in the Middle East, including Israel. And there are reports that the Israeli government has approved the use of Starlink in Gaza to provide internet access to its residents. But will it affect Elon Musk's relations with Israel? That's a good question. It's no secret that Musk has been a vocal supporter of Israel in the past, and he's even visited the country multiple times. However, Musk has also been known to support humanitarian causes, such as providing aid to Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria and donating money to clean water projects in Africa. So it's possible that providing internet access to Gaza could be seen as a humanitarian gesture rather than a political one.
Communications here in the Gaza Strip are down, the internet, the network lines, the landlines, and we cannot even call each other.
Elon Musk has now said that SpaceX's Starlink will support communication links in Gaza, unlike fiber optics, which can be controlled physically.
Of course, there's always a risk of backlash from some groups, but ultimately, it's up to Musk to decide what he thinks is the right thing to do. Elon Musk's Starlink could provide internet access to Gaza's residents and help alleviate some of the suffering. Whether or not it affects his relations with Israel remains to be seen.
I know your commitment to free speech. I respect that because I think it's an integral, it's the foundational thing of democracies, really.
But ultimately, what matters most is the well-being of the people in Gaza. But why is Israel targeting communication infrastructure in Gaza? According to Israeli officials, the airstrikes are meant to target Hamas and other militant groups operating in the region. They claim that these groups use communication infrastructure to coordinate attacks against Israel. However, human rights organizations have criticized the airstrikes, saying that they are a violation of international law and that they are causing unnecessary harm to innocent civilians. Despite the challenges, some people have been able to find ways to communicate with their loved ones. Social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook have become essential tools for people in Gaza to share information and connect with the outside world. Some people have also been able to use satellite phones and other alternative forms of communication to stay in touch. But these solutions are not sustainable, and they are not enough to address the urgent needs of the people in Gaza. That's where Elon Musk's Starlink comes in. As we mentioned earlier, Starlink could provide internet access to Gaza's residents and help alleviate some of the suffering. But how exactly does Starlink work? The system works by launching thousands of small satellites into low Earth orbit, which are then able to provide internet coverage to the entire planet. The satellites are designed to be low cost and easy to deploy, which makes them ideal for providing internet access to remote or underserved areas. In addition to providing internet access, Starlink could also help improve the lives of people in Gaza in other ways. For example, it could help improve the delivery of medical services and supplies, which are currently hampered by the communication blackout.
If the hospital does not get the necessary fuel for the generators, it's a death sentence, not a natural death. That execution is in the hands of the free world. Everyone is guilty.
It could also help improve access to education and other resources, which are essential for the long-term development of the region. Of course, there are also challenges to implementing Starlink in Gaza. The region is currently under Israeli blockade, which makes it difficult to import the necessary equipment and set up the infrastructure needed for Starlink to work. There are also concerns about the cost of the service and whether it will be affordable for people in Gaza. Despite the potential benefits of Starlink for the people of Gaza, there are concerns about how Israel will respond to Elon Musk's offer to provide internet access to aid organizations in the region. Israeli officials have already expressed opposition to the move, citing concerns that Hamas, the militant group that controls Gaza, could use the internet to coordinate attacks against Israel. Israel's communication minister, Shlomo Karhi, has even threatened to cut ties with Starlink if the service is used by aid organizations in Gaza. He has also called on Musk to condition the use of the service on the release of Israeli citizens who are being held captive by Hamas. The tensions between Israel and Starlink are not new. In the past, Israeli officials have expressed concern that the service could be used to spy on Israel or provide internet access to countries that are hostile to Israel. However, Musk has repeatedly stated that Starlink is a purely commercial venture and that it has no political or military agenda. It remains to be seen how the situation will play out, but it's clear that the people of Gaza are in urgent need of internet access and communication services. Whether or not Israel will allow Starlink to provide these services remains to be seen, but we hope that a solution can be found that benefits everyone involved. The blackout in Gaza is a humanitarian crisis that needs urgent attention. Elon Musk's offer to provide internet access to aid organizations in the region could be a game changer, but it's not clear whether Israel will allow it to happen. We hope that a solution can be found that benefits the people of Gaza and helps alleviate their suffering. However, despite these challenges, there is no doubt that Starlink has the potential to make a significant impact in Gaza and other underserved regions around the world. Although the future of Gaza's connectivity to the internet is not predictable, we hope that the people in Gaza will soon be able to access the internet and communicate with their loved ones once again. Thank you for watching this video. We hope that you found it informative and thought-provoking. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next one.